Fallout 76 has divided the fan base, and I'm going to talk about it. I've played for about a week since the main game came out, as it came out a week ago, and I played from the stress tests into every beta, and I have to say, it's a different game from the betas. It runs so much better, but it still isn't a perfect game. Like, you look at games that are getting shipped out today, like Red Dead 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which I haven't played either of those, but I do know those are definitely more finished games than Fallout 76. But Fallout 76 is still a good game. I would say that without a doubt, Fallout 76 is a good game. I think it's definitely different from other Bethesda titles. You know, Bethesda titles are known for how the worlds feel alive. A lot of people are saying this world feels empty and not as alive. But I disagree. I mean, it's not supposed to feel alive if you're the first people coming back into the world, right? I think it has enough life inside of it that it still feels alive, to me at least. That's my personal opinion. But I do understand the NPCs in this game are either robots, and then there's one friendly non-robot NPC, Graham the Trading Super Mutant. You can find them on the roads and the train tracks in the world. And he's definitely a cool character. But that's it. After that, all you have is robots. And I guess I would consider Rose, I believe that's her name, the robot at top of the world, to be more of a realistic NPC that feels alive. I would consider the Overseer, though I have not completed the story or anything, so I don't know any spoilers. I would say the Overseer feels alive in all of her things. And that's about it, though. That's definitely disappointing. I would have loved to see a few goals in there. You know, I think they could have done that for sure. We know that there are ghouls that survived from when the bombs dropped, because we got the Vault-Tec employee from Fallout 4. We found him later in Good Neighbor. But I understand where they're coming from. They wanted it to be that you, the player character, and all the other people in the world are repopulating and rebuilding America. So basically that means almost every NPC and even player characters in the Fallout universe could have been your descendants. I would not be shocked if the Fallout 3 protagonist, who I'm pretty sure his name is considered Albert, I don't know for sure, don't hold me to that, I wouldn't be shocked if Bethesda said something stupid like, yeah, he's a descendant from your player character. Because they could do that. That's how it works. I think that's a good reason why there's no NPCs. Is because you're the first people to leave. I'm sure there are other people maybe on the other side of the country who have left vaults, but on the East Coast, you are literally the first people to leave. And yeah, that's definitely a daunting task. And so I think Bethesda wanted to make a prequel. And I think if this was a single player experience, people would hate it more. Everyone's saying, I wish it was single player. But if it was single player, what would you have to do exactly? I think the nice thing about Fallout 76 is a lot of the people playing it are fans of this series. I know a few people who this is their first Fallout, and I have ran into 2 griefers my whole time playing. But I think people just want to enjoy the game. Like, you look at GTA Online, people are just, killing people for the fun of it. In Fallout 76, you don't see that. If people are killing each other, it's because they've challenged each other. And if they get murdered and there's a wanted person, you can get justice, which I love. I love the wanted system, but I will get into that later. I just think Bethesda, when they were deciding they wanted to do a online Fallout like everyone was asking for, everyone wanted this. Well, not everyone. I personally would not have wanted this. But a lot of people wanted a multiplayer Fallout. experience. And Bethesda had the right initiative making it, but didn't execute it well, I would say. Now back to where I said I wouldn't have wanted an online Fallout. Personally, when I was watching E3 and Todd said that it was going to be multiplayer Fallout, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I didn't expect it. But having played that online mode, played for the betas, met people who I've continued to play with since the betas, I wouldn't have traded it for anything else in a Fallout game. It's just so great to work with others and not a NPC companion for a change. Though, I mean, we need dog meat in like a free DLC. Please, Bethesda, give us dog meat. But, I mean, it's just, there's so much about this game. And that's why I personally think Fallout 76 is the most underrated game of 2018. And I think it's one of the better games of 2018. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the gameplay, mechanics, and all of that for a little bit. So, the gunplay is very similar to Fallout 4. And you can definitely tell that a lot of this game is very similar to Fallout 4. It's almost like they reused the assets or something. But there are some minor details that I noticed. Like, the reload animations in a lot of shooters will just stick as many bullets as go into a magazine, even if you don't have those bullets. Go on Fallout 76. There's the minor attention to detail that this shows balance on how much Bethesda cared. Because that detail was not in Fallout 4. Where, if I only have 5 rounds left for my shotgun, and I have no rounds ready to shoot, and I have to reload, I'm not going to put 7 rounds in, or a full mag in. I'm going to put those 5 rounds in. And you look at a lot of shooters that would put, oh, you have 1 shot left, and you're going to reload, now you have 2 shots left. And it's just these minor things that Bethesda noticed and they fixed. And then there's also a lot about, it's basically survival mode from Fallout 4. Is the whole thing in this. I would guess, I didn't play a lot of survival mode in Fallout 4, but I would assume that Fallout 76 is survival mode on Fallout 4 and very similar. I mean, I know there's no fast travel, and I know it's definitely an easier difficulty for sure. But I would say it's very similar to that. And I would say Bethesda definitely, without a doubt, when they were designing Fallout 76, had the players in mind. They thought, this is what they want, we're going to deliver it. But I will say, I am not a crazy huge fan of the survival aspect of the game. I think it's great for the game, I guess. I mean, it definitely fits in there well. But having to keep things cooked and ready all the time is awful. And how fast things, they want you to get these perks that are gonna make your food spoil less. But you know how hard it is to get those perks sometimes? Exactly. I mean, it's like a lot of things. You know how some games will design it that you have to get microtransactions. This game is designed so that you will get perks. And you don't have to pay for them. But it's definitely an interesting thing. I would like to talk about the camp system, which I think is phenomenal. The camp system's phenomenal. Teams are phenomenal. The world, oh my goodness, the open world is phenomenal. People saying it feels empty. Just explore it. I've always loved exploring in Fallout games. And this is the most exploratory Fallout game there has ever been. And I love it. I think it's because the great things of the series, adding that exploration aspect that I feel like in other games, you have it, but you don't have it to that scale. The scale of things you can find. How many other Fallout games have had a full amusement park you can go to, and a fair, a bunch of small cities, cabins, it's just stuff that's brought out among the world, and it all feels so delicately made. One area I'd like to talk about. I'm not going to show it in this background gameplay, I'm sorry. But there's this place, I believe it's called, something about Hunter's Ridge, I believe. I believe it's Hunter's Ridge. And it reminds me of, like, the Ewok Village from, like, Star Wars. And, like, Star Wars Battlefront 2, if you play that Ewok Hunt mode, you know, you walk around those big old wooden bridges and stuff. It's stuff like that that's in here, but I think it's so cool. They cared a lot about the open world. And yeah, it wasn't perfect, but Bethesda cared. So, what does that mean about what I think about the game? I would give the game, if I was doing like a star, like out of 10, I would give it like a 7. Yeah, there are some big old bugs in the first week of playing. My camp has been deleted a few times. I've had to rebuild a few times. And there's just a lot of bugs, but it's a Bethesda game, and there are a lot of bugs in Bethesda games. And they are working hard fixing it. The initiative Bethesda has shown is great. I think it's very underrated, and I think it's definitely divided fans, because the fans wanted a Fallout experience, but this isn't as much of a Fallout experience as it is a online friendship making experience set in the Fallout universe. Yeah, I have no idea how I just got that. But basically, it's like Fallout 76 is set in the Fallout universe, but it feels vastly different from any other Fallout game. And personally, I have no problem with that at all. So yeah, I think Fallout 76 is the most underrated game of 2018. And I think it's one of the better games of 2018. I think it's probably, the sad thing about it is, the way fans are talking about it, the way people are talking about it, no one wants to go out and buy this game. But, play it first. If it's on, like, Redbox or Gamefly, if Gamefly is still a thing, rent it and just try it out. And if you don't like it, then you don't like it. It's definitely dividing people. I like it. The average player might not. But I guess we'll see what Bethesda does in the future for this game. But I think Fallout 76 is an okay game amidst all this hate towards the game. Well, that's it for the review today, guys. If you have any questions, and I'll try to answer them all, just comment them down below. I've been Frosty, and thanks for watching.